Good afternoon, everybody. A long time no see. I haven't been on here for quite some time. I just wanted to kind of do a quick tutorial just for beginners, because there's a lot of things that people don't know what to do when you're first starting out. And I just kind of wanted to do something real quick for people just starting out. Thing that I want to do with these grapevines, I want to show everybody little tips and tricks on what you are buying when you are buying the actual grapevine wreath. I have a round one here. I actually got this online from Michael's. I did not, so I was not able to pick it out, okay? But usually when you pick them out, number one, kind of try to make sure they're a little on the straight side. If they're not perfectly straight, you can still kind of, you know, fix it, work around it, whatever. You can see there are twigs totally hanging off of it. We have, thank goodness this one doesn't have very many leaves. That's a great thing, okay? If it has leaves, okay, I'm going to show you. I have this oval grapevine that I got from Joanne Fabrics. You can kind of see it. It's got a leaf right in there. Pull it out. That's really all you got to do. Some of them have a lot of leaves, pine needles, things like that through there. And it can be really, really, really thick. Just take scissors, ice pick, something like that, just to kind of take it through and, get rid of that stuff. Bang it on the side of your, porch, whatever, to get rid of that. You don't want to leave all these leaves and debris and stuff in there. The reason being, you're going to be sticking flowers, stems, and stuff like that in there. You don't want it sticking to a loose leaf and it'll just come out. So get rid of all of that the best that you can. If you can't get rid of it all, then you just do what you can. Okay, so there's that. But yeah, we have the oval grapevines, we have round grapevines. Believe it or not, you can actually make your own. I've never done it. I actually bought the rolls of grapevine from Joanne Fabrics and I put it on my Christmas tree. All you have to do is soak it for a little while so it's a little more pliable and you can move it around. I actually had somebody say that you can make round grapevines and turn that into oval, which is really, really cool. Just soak it and then you would kind of squeeze it together, and it would make it more oval. I think that's kind of a cool idea. If you wanted oval and you could only find the round, whatever. And size-wise, 18-inch is usually what I use. A lot of people might want something a little bit smaller, so you can go into like a 14 or 12-inch grapevine, just so, because this is going to really, when you start putting things on, it's going to fill out. Like this 18-inch will turn into probably about 23 inches, maybe even wider. So that's just something to think about. If you want it to be good and wide, then stick with the 18. I wouldn't go any wider than that unless you want like humongous that won't even fit on a front door. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. I love doing these ovals just because a lot of doors want more length. So I like using the oval grapevines. I also will make swags. That's completely different thing. I'll use the teardrop swags, pine swags, and I'll kind of just put stuff through that, which I haven't done that for a while because I'm out of swags and I can't get any more until Christmas time. So that's a whole new story, okay? But anyhow, as for cleaning these, okay, after you're done getting all of the leaves and debris out and everything like that, what I want you to do, take some wire cutters, okay, and see how, like, you can see real close, this is sticking out, okay? You don't want that. Clip it off, okay? And there's some old pine needles. Get rid of that. Clip everything down the best you can, just because what you want is a smooth surface, especially once you decide which side is going to be the back side of your wreath. You want that back side to be smooth, because it's going to happen. There's going to be wind and stuff like that, people opening and closing a door. It's going to, it's going to sway, and you don't want the back of that wreath to, if it's for yourself, you don't want it to scratch at your door. If it's for a customer, you don't want it to scratch the customer's door. So you want that to be as smooth as possible. So yeah, cut it down. There's all these little squigglies and stuff like that, which I love these squigglies. I think they're adorable, but they will scratch. So you want to cut all of that off and make sure you can run your hand along it both ways, okay? Keep going both ways and make sure you can rub your hand along it without scratching your hand. That kind of helps clean it, make sure it's good and clean and it doesn't scratch. You don't want it to scratch. So that's my helpful hint for purchasing and cleaning your grapevines. Okay, now supplies, okay? Yes, you need wire cutters, okay? You need wire. If you were going to attach a sign, some flowers might be a little heavy. If a flower is heavy, you want to use some wire to kind of tie it down a little bit better than just glue. This wire here, okay, I got this at Joann Fabrics. It's a 22 gauge, and I know it's kind of hard to see, I apologize, but it's thick, but it's not too thick. You can do all kinds of stuff with it, okay? I have some wire that is much thicker. I also got this one at Joann's. You can get these at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Walmart, okay? I love to use this to attach my, I just like to put a hook on to my grapevines. Just kind of feed this through, okay? I'll make it, maybe 10 inches or so, okay? And clip that off. And I'll just show you, how I attach it to the back of the grapevine, just to, it's, number one, it makes sure the client knows where the top of the wreath is, even though it's happened where I've put it on there and they completely, will put it on its side. But what I like to do, I'll show you real quick, I like to take this kind of going up. I mean, whether it's going all the way up to the top, you can always start towards the bottom, okay? Kind of get it going up through, okay? You can kind of see how I have that. I mean, yeah, I know it is kind of the same color as the grapevine, so it's kind of hard to see, which is why I use it, because it's noticeable but not noticeable, okay? Then I'll get it over on this side, have it coming up through, okay? So we got it, 2 spots. kind of hard doing it backwards, but I'm trying to make sure I show you. Okay, and then kind of bring it over on either side, up and down. Okay, and you can see I have it there. I really don't want it coming over the top of this too far, because just in case the greenery and the flowers don't cover it up, you don't want it kind of just sticking out. So anyhow, that is how I attach that to the back. Okay, so, but yeah, I kind of went off of I wanted to just go over supplies, but that's the wire that I use to attach to the back. You could also go with a super thick wire. I have this wire here. What is this? This is 16 gauge. It is very thick wire. I got this in the over at Walmart, where they have like all the men's wire and stuff like that. That's where I got this. Okay, so that's just something you want to use. I showed you these wire cutters. Okay, the other wire cutters that I actually started with, these things are fantastic. I got them at Lowe's. Okay, these things, okay, my husband, we bought 2 of these. My husband used these whenever he did deer taxidermy. You can cut through deer skulls with it. So these work fantastic. Just saying. Okay, it's good too for a different angle, because these you can go straight on. These you kind of have to go, let me show you real quick. I'll just grab a piece of greenery here. You kind of have to go like this, like up and down. So like within different angles, you might want to use something different. So it's kind of cool that way. Okay, I use both of these. You need a tape measure, not for right now, but when you're done, you kind of want to know how big it's going to be and stuff like that. You want to make sure you're not too far off. Okay, you don't want to be too big. Glue's a big thing with me. When I very first started, I used hot glue, and I used the glue like the generic, because I wanted to be as cheap as possible, and you want to save as much money as possible. I get it. But I actually noticed a lot of my stuff fell off. So I had someone actually tell me to use this quick grip, and I used that for a while, and it seemed to work okay, but the tube, if I didn't use it all, within like 3, maybe 6 months, there was no glue left inside the tube, even though I had it sealed shut. So I'm thinking, okay, if it disintegrates inside the tube, what is it going to do to the stuff that's actually, on the wreath? So I quit using that. I found this E6000, and yes, this E6000 works fantastic. It takes 24 hours to fully dry, so it does take a long time to dry, but it works great. Okay, if you want your glue to dry within 15 seconds, then use hot glue. I suggest using the good stuff. Use the Gorilla Glue. My thing is, I've heard people, I don't know myself because nobody's ever actually complained to me, but if you use any hot glue, the wreath cannot be in full sun, 100, for sure, because the glue will reheat and come apart. The South, people, have said that they've had problems with it. And when it's between a door and a storm door, which most grapevines cannot be, they're usually too wide that they can't, but which, you know, just for any other thing that you're doing, if you were using, hi Mary, if you were going to use glue, if a wreath is between a door and a storm door, the heat in there gets a little bit, you know, more intense. So that also might be, you know, kind of loosen things up. So just to be on the safe side, my suggestion is the E6000. Okay, you can get this pretty much anywhere. You know, like any of your craft stores, they have it. Walmart has it. So that's kind of where I get this. Okay, this is usually what I use. So if you do insist that you want to use hot glue, you can just use a glue gun. I still have it. I still use it. Okay, but use a glue gun, or I actually bought this off of Amazon, a couple months ago. I have this, it's just a 6-inch pot, skillet, hot skillet. That's all it is. And I will use these thicker glue sticks in there. You can see these glue sticks. They're a little bit thicker. I accidentally bought these because I wanted to buy some glue sticks to go in my glue gun. Well, yeah. So now I have this pot. I mean, they actually sell glue pots, but I suggest just getting a hot skillet. It works just as good. I got this, I think it was like 20 bucks. So it's only 6 inches. So it's not gonna, you know, take up too much space or anything like that. And that way, when you use like a glue pot, all you're gonna do, this is a little flower, just stick it in there, and the glue comes on the bottom, boom. So it's very, very simple. Whereas if you use the glue gun, which I've used for a while, you gotta, you know, take it down. It takes a little bit longer. But again, the hot glue dries instant, and the E6000 takes a while to dry. However, it lasts. So that's my opinion. You can, you know, do what you want to do, but I'm just kind of giving you a little 101 about like what I've learned. Okay? Signs. When you attach a sign, they can come several different ways. I'll show you this real quick. I got this gnome, okay? I love these gnomes. Hi, Karen. Okay. You weren't able to say hello, okay? Okay, so anyhow, I have this gnome. I think he's absolutely adorable. And you really you can barely see. She's got like a little pin, like hole up at the top and another one at the very bottom, okay? She, you know, made this as a wreath attachment, so it is so easy. I can slip this wire right on in and we're good, okay? So, you know, I'll show you here in a second how I do it, because that's my favorite way. Now, the same person that I got that off of, yes, you use both glues together. Okay, yeah, you got the extra long hold and it's quick. I've seen that done also, so you can do it either way. So I had this other gnome. Okay, there is no holes in here, but you can see it's pretty thick wood, even though it's light, but it's kind of thick. Okay, this is when you can use a heavy-duty stapler. Just take some wire. Again, this is for beginners, okay? So I know most of you, that are on here, you already know all this stuff. So I'm just trying to help out a lot of beginners. I've actually had some people who were good friends of mine that have tried doing floral wreaths, grapevine wreaths, and they just go crazy because they can't figure it out. So I just kind of want to make it a little nice and simple for everybody. So, but yeah, you take this, I'd say about, go about a foot, okay, just to make sure you have enough, okay. And I know I really don't want to angle this down because then I have to readjust it and everything like that. And yeah, the stand that my phone is on right now, I don't want to touch it, okay. Just because, it won't stay, okay. It won't go back to where it was. So I have this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to see where the bottom is, and I'm going to just staple this through there. Okay. See where I did that? I got the staples in 2 spots. That way I got this wire coming out. And I'll go ahead and do it again so I could do the top. Okay, so now I have right at the very bottom, and we have it up at the top. And all you do, you stick the wire through the grapevine. I want to put it over on this side. I am eventually going to be making a wreath for a friend using this sign. Okay, just kind of went through and twisted on. Now I'll do the same thing with the bottom. I know you can't see, I apologize. Okay. Okay, there you go. I wired it on to the back in both spots. And yeah, I know. I totally forgot I already had this on here. Ignore that, okay? I'm just kind of showing you. You just wire it on and it's there, okay? If the wire is already, if it's too long after you've already had it on there, just cut it off. It's that simple, okay? So I think that's it with the signs. There are some wooden signs that are kind of thin and you don't want to use the staple. That's when you take the wire the same way, okay? But you use hot glue on part of it and use the E6000 on the other part. Or like a super glue. The Gorilla Glue that comes in the tube, you can use that. But do part one and part other. That way it dries quickly and then it will stay with the other, okay? That's just something I used to do. If you have a metal sign, you can do that. Or if you don't mind using a drill, use the smallest tip that you possibly can and drill holes and take the wire through the holes. You could do it that way. There are several ways you can do it, but getting a wire through a hole is the best way to make sure it's good and secure. Okay, but glue definitely works. So go ahead, don't worry about using the glue. I think that's it for the signs. So, how to pick greenery, how to pick, your flowers, stuff like that. I know I'm going to use this sign. So, I wanted to find flowers that, number one, made me think of summertime. Flowers that would go with this sign, like that kind of would match. So, I have, well, first of all, I found these that are like a light yellow, and that really goes really well. Okay, I have tons of these pink, they have dark pink, light pink, and white daisies. I think that would look really good with this. I think so. And then, if you can tell, this snow cone is red. Now, I wanted to go with a couple red daisies, but I think they're too much of a bright red. So I have these carnations that are a little bit duller. I might throw them in there, I might not. It's just something that I do, I kind of go, as I go, I kind of figure out what I want. But when it comes to flowers, try to fix, kind of go with the theme that you are thinking, okay? And I'm wanting to match the sign, so I'm trying to match the sign itself. Greenery, though, to me, greenery is very important. A lot of people just put flowers in and they're done. I think greenery, to me, I want that garden look, okay? And you can't have a garden without greenery, without the leaves. So, what I really like to do is, there's ficus. I get these from Hobby Lobby. Pretty much, anywhere though, you can find ficus leaves, okay? I love using these kind of as a base. These are, they're not too big, they're not too small, they're just kind of right there in the middle. I love them. One of my other things that I like to do, which, as you can tell, I've already used a lot of it, is these, I love these ferns I get from Hobby Lobby. I just love the color in them because it has both the dark and the light. They're just one of my favorite things to use. Sometimes I will clip some, a little bit higher than the other. Yes, Karen, greenery is the canvas. You gotta have, you gotta have something behind the flowers just to, make them pop. But I love using these ferns. When, kind of after I've already put the flowers in, that's whenever I dress up with even more greenery. I like these, well, actually I found these at, believe it or not, Dollar Tree. They're kind of fern-like, but I have, oh, where can I find them? Oh, okay. These are almost the same exact thing from Joann Fabrics, okay? You can kind of, they're almost the same. But yeah, this one's Joann Fabrics. It's just kind of, a small fern. I really like using that. I have these that I got from Joann Fabrics. They're kind of like a, I think they're called like a teardrop or something like that. It doesn't say, it just says spring floral. But it's just very, very tiny leaves. I like using things with tiny leaves to use as filler, like a filler greenery. Just to kind of, because there's going to be spots that you can see the stems, where the stems are going into the grapevine and stuff like that. That kind of helps to hide it. Same thing with, like, if you have some baby's breath, which I have. Okay, yeah, I have some right here. I got these from Joann Fabrics. Just, you know, it's something just to kind of throw in there as filler. Yeah, I like to have the big flowers, some medium flowers, and some small flowers, just to kind of get everything to, you know, to meld together. I'm not going to make anything for you today, okay? I just kind of wanted to do like a little 101, you know, what to look for, you know, different things that you can do to, you know, you decide what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. I'm telling you what I normally do, what I like, what I don't like. There's a lot of people that say they, like, you know, where you actually make a wreath, okay? Like, I could use the easel right here, okay? So I can stand up and just do it that way. They sell those little wire easels, okay, like Joann Fabrics and them, okay? They're nice and cheap. You can, you know, put it on a table. That way it's right in front of you. Personally, I put mine down on the table and work down on the table and look down at it. I'll sit there, you know, sit down so I can see it from the angles and stuff like that. Because, yeah, that's another thing I want to tell you. Something that, it's a pet peeve of mine. When I see a floral wreath with the florals in greenery strictly on the front, they don't worry about the side. I like to make sure the sides also have the flowers and the greenery and stuff like that, because people are, yeah, they're looking at the wreath head, like, head on. But a lot of people see them on the sides too. You want the sides to look good. That's just my personal opinion. Again, but it's a pet peeve of mine. I can't help it. I'll go to doctor's offices and see a gorgeous wreath and then look at it from the side. I'm like, oh, that just totally ruined it. It would look so much better if they had it all around, or, you know, just all the way to the side. It just, I can't help it. Oh well. But anyhow, I think that's pretty much it. That's all I kind of wanted to tell you. If you have any questions, you know, chime in, and, you know, I'll answer them the best I possibly can. I think everybody here, though, nobody's beginners. You guys have already, you know, you're already making wreaths and everything like that. I just kind of wanted to help out some beginners. Like I said, a good friend of mine, in fact, she just did a bicycle rim wreath. Vicky, if you jump on, I'm talking about you. I know you've told me before, you know, you can't do florals. You have such a, you know, tough time doing florals. And I just thought, you know what, I want to kind of help out people who are having a tough time doing the florals, you know, the grapevine wreaths, because they're actually my favorite to do. And yeah, I just have so much fun with them, because you can do so much. Your creativity can just go through the roof with them. And something else I want to show you. I just now thought of it. Okay, I'm gonna show this on this oval one. Okay, something you got to also pay attention to when you're buying. If you are buying it, you know, in the store and not online, because obviously online they just give you what, you know, whatever. Make sure that the grapevine itself, you don't want it to be too tight, but you don't want it to be too loose. Okay, If it's too loose, you're going to be sticking your stems in there, and there's not going to be anything for them to stick to. Okay, so you don't want to be too loose, but when it's too tight, you have a heck of a time getting the stuff in there. You got to pry it open and, but, you know, sometimes if you have to buy online, which I had to buy the ones from Michael's, I had to buy them online because I only have a Joann's near me, and they were completely out, and I'm like, I gotta get something. So I went ahead and got these online, and they're actually pretty good. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of sticks sticking out and stuff like that I'm gonna have to cut off. You're gonna get that anywhere, but they're I'm happy with them. Yeah, and I don't know if you're ever going to get the perfect grapevine. It's going to be hard to find. I will say the ones that I've seen at Walmart, I do not like, because like you can see here, you got some of the big twigs going through there, okay? I don't even see any of the big twigs. It's all skinny, 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 and very tight. Maybe it's just my Walmart. I don't know. But the ones I see at Walmart, I'm like, oh no. I'm not even gonna look anymore because the ones that I've seen, I don't like. If you do get that, my personal opinion, make sure you cover the whole thing, because I think it's actually unattractive. A lot of my grapevines, I do not cover the whole thing. Like, I will pick, like this here, how I have just, you know, there's just a couple of the bigger ones kind of going through. I think that's kind of attractive. And that's probably the side I would use, that I would keep uncovered while I cover the rest. Sometimes I do cover the whole thing. So it's, you know, personal preference. It's what I'm in the mood for that day, whatever. But another thing that I kind of want to, you know, cover, when you were buying your flowers and your greenery, yeah, you can buy your stuff at Dollar Tree. You're going to get what you pay for. Some things, like I showed you, I got this at Dollar Tree. It actually looks pretty good. Some things are good. Some things, some of their flowers, actually, you can kind of tell they're a little on the cheap side. So maybe you want to think twice, maybe go a little bit more expensive. You know, go to Hobby Lobby when they have their 50% off sale. The Walmart bases are like what you find on a lot of retail made wreaths. Yes, it's like a twig base. Yeah, and yeah, and that's it. The retail, the pre-made wreaths that you buy have that ugly twig base. It's so ugly. I can't help it. I'm picky, I guess. So anyhow, but yeah, with the flowers though, you want to make sure they're halfway decent. You know, Joann Fabrics, I go to, you know, a lot, just because I only have a Joann's near me. I will order online from Michael's and Hobby Lobby also when they have their specials and stuff like that. I just want to make sure I get a good discount, I guess. Yeah, I want a good price so that I can forward that price on to my clients. But at the same time, you know, I don't want to get all Dollar Tree stuff, because guess what? It's, you know, it might sell if it's only $20. But if you want to, you know, charge $50, you might, you know, need a nicer flowers and greenery and stuff like that. That's, you know, I'm just trying to think of things that people are thinking of when they're first starting out. Because I know with me, when I first started, I wanted everything as cheap as possible. And because that's just me. I'm just one of those people, I don't like to spend. But I've learned that I do spend more. And unfortunately, I've been, spending an awful lot. That kind of comes with the territory. Oh, another thing. I forgot about ribbon. Because a lot of people want to learn how to make bows. There's tons of tutorials on YouTube and stuff like that, so I'm not going to sit here and show you how to make a bow. But make sure it is wired, okay? We want the wired. That's the big thing. Don't go out, just say, oh, that's a pretty ribbon, and buy it without it being wired, okay? Because the unwired is going to flop on you. And sometimes even the wired will not be a thick enough wire that it really stays good. I've actually done a live here, I think it was this spring? No, it was last spring. That, to me, it was a beautiful, beautiful ribbon, but it just happened, the wire was just kind of flimsy, and it still flopped, and it was just like, oh, that was so embarrassing, actually. But anyhow, that's off subject. But when you make bows, make it with a wire. Find some really nice tutorials. There are so many tutorials. You can get a bow maker. You can just do it by hand. I do mine by hand, just because that's the way I learned. I am starting to get arthritis. Yuck. Yes, I'm at that age. I don't like to admit it. But, and I think I'm going to have to start checking into getting a bow maker, because that's probably going to help a lot. So, that's something else to think about, okay? But that's, I think, pretty much all I have for my beginners. If you have other questions that I didn't think of, just, contact me, whether it's through here. You can comment on here, especially if you're watching the replay. Just go ahead and comment. I should, be able to help you out. A lot of my friends that are on here, they could probably help you out too. And, if you want to contact me through Messenger or something like that with questions, go ahead. Again, my name is Patty Davis. This is Crooked Tree Creations, rustic wreaths with an elegant twist. And I think I'm done here. So, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining me. I do appreciate it. I love the fact that a lot of my friends show up here, and I'm so appreciative. And I love you very much, and I will talk to you guys later. Okay? You have a great day. Bye.